So what I'm saying, these are few days to the exam. You are going to provide the technical expertise, technical guidance. Assuming you are an auditor somewhere, you've met a new client. This new client has unique challenges. So it is better you understand their challenge, use your expertise to solve the problem. Is that true?
True.
And with the technique I've given you, if they have given, let me say, a fact pattern, a write up, so you get their write up, play around with it, include a few things from the standard, give them the response. Is someone getting my argument?
Yeah.
So please make sure that you are comfortable with all the syllabus contents. Then when you go to the exam, I repeat, don't go with answers, but go with your technical expertise. You understand very well the ethics and the requirements. So go and listen to the client. That is the exam scenario. Pick from the exam scenario, put it in your answers, play around with it, put in your technical knowledge, submit to the client. You pass. And therefore, this brings me to the issue of each client is unique. You are going to find some challenges that you can't handle. Are you going to, Emma? You know what we call charging time in our audit world.
Mm. Mm.
If you cannot solve a client problem, do you spend there a week?
Ah, you leave.
Because will you be able to charge that time on the code?
No.
They will not allow you. So what do? You leave, come back to the base, and seek for guidance. So in the exam, you leave that one, move on. It is more like charging time. You get it? You have only 3 minutes on that client. If you can't answer their challenges, go on, move on, move on. JMO, just move on. Because even if you waste those 2 minutes, you will not earn a mark from there, and you miss a free mark, an easy mark that is on the next number. You can only gain this if you practice. And at the level of practice, I know you've covered the content. All right. I think we have quorum for us to start our discussions. Please confirm, is my screen visible and my audio clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, Emma, I think you are seeing SCCA website, right?
Which one?
Are you viewing the SCCA website? Yes. That's
Yeah.
what I'm
Yes.
trying to show you. Okay.
Yes. I can see it. Mm.
How many days to exam?
Around 5.
5. By show of hands, Emma, you can keep your mic on so that you can be interacting. You represent them. By show of hands, how many of you have come to this class to learn new things? Just be honest. You've joined today to learn new things. How many of you? Emma, are you part?
No, I just come to push what I already know.
How about Ruben? Have you joined to learn new things?
No, I'm at par. I'm just doing revision.
I was going to send you back home. I was going to tell that you are on the wrong call. At this time, we are learning no new things, right? We are just consolidating what we know and then calming ourselves down that all is well. We are ready for the exam. So these few days to the exam, what I always tell students to do is, okay, in fact, you shouldn't be doing questions now. I might sound contradicting. Eh, you shouldn't be doing questions now. You should be reading answers directly. Because I assume you've used all the other previous weeks to gain confidence and also monitor your time. So you know your timing technique at this time. Is that true, Emmanuel?
Yeah.
Now these remaining days is just to consolidate knowledge. So you just read the question, go and read the answers. Do you know what I'm trying to do? What that technique helps? Emma?
Yeah, to cover a lot in just little time.
You cover a lot in
Maybe.
just little time, but also I want to remove now that negative tendency that I can't answer this question. You get it? This is not the time now to know what you can't answer and what you can answer. I don't know if someone is getting it. These are techniques that I used as a student. I have applied them to students and they have passed. In these few days to the exam, I don't encourage anyone to do a question. Okay, what you can do in this, now today is Saturday and then Sunday, this weekend, it should be your final exam. You know, full exam, Emma. This weekend should be the final day or the final weekend for you to do a standard paper. I assume that in the previous weeks you have been doing question 1, 30 marks, right? So you time
Yeah.
yourself for only 30 marks. Then the other day you did question 2, 20 marks. So you timed yourself for 20 marks. The other day you did question 3, 25 marks. You timed it for only 25 marks. Now this weekend, a student does a full paper, which is 3 hours, and you time yourself. And even before the weekend ends, you debrief that paper. You debrief that what? That paper.
Paper.
After debriefing it is, you look at what you wrote vis-a-vis what the marking guide is having. Then effective Monday, you don't do any new paper. The technique is you read a question, highlight few things, go to the answers directly, then summarize. You do that up to the end, up to the exam day. But also, with that technique, you also read technical articles. Now, this is the period you must be reading technical articles, also to further consolidate your knowledge. Is someone getting it?
Yeah.
So, this period, we are trying to consolidate our knowledge, gain more confidence, and then get ready for the exam. Let me warn you, around Tuesday, Wednesday, you'll feel you have nothing in the head. That is okay. You know, for me, I'm not saying that I'm giving you tricks that I didn't go through. I experienced all this, you get? Our brain is more of what we call, is it ROM, random, or read only memory? Those guys of tech, eh? It keeps information in different blocks, and you can only retrieve that information if that block is triggered. And you know what is going to trigger it? The question in the exam. In fact, you're going to feel a sense of, I do not know this topic. But if you've practiced and you read it to detail, just be rest assured you know it. That information is stored somewhere. It will only wait for a trigger in the exam, and the brain will bring back those memories and the things. And when you read even the scenario, everything will start to be open and you start answering. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes. So when you reach that point of sense of nothing, just be confident you have it. Wait in the exam and you gain that confidence because you have practiced more than enough. Okay, so you are to visit this website, please. Find free time. I remember when I was a student, I was in a hostel in India somewhere. So later on in the day, I would open one technical article, maybe at around 9 now. I'm on my bed, You can access this on your phone. I'm on my bed, then I open, let me say I want to read about, just reminding myself about deferred tax on my bed. So I go there and start reading, just reading, not even writing anything, just reading. You read, you read, you read. You see, you're just trying to remember some things, eh? You read what it says. You just read. Just read. Trust me, you also need this information for FR. So just read everything. Read everything. Read everything. Read. Don't give much attention. Don't even write. Don't do what. Now that is if you're doing it in the evening, that in the night. But if it's during the day, you can be summarizing a few things, highlighting, putting them somewhere. You get it, students?
Mm.
Then after another day or after a few hours, you listen to some music. Then you go and open another technical article. This is the period for technical articles and reading questions and answers directly without practicing, because you've done enough practice and you are not really expecting to learn new things, but just to consolidate a few things. And why am I encouraging you to read more questions and answers? Because you'll be able to find different question approaches, and different techniques or different ways how an examiner sets the question. So you can be able at least to have different approaches within a shorter period of time. You read many things and you summarize and you do whatever that is really important. Then on Wednesday, before the day before exam, you shouldn't open, because I might not meet you again. You shouldn't open any textbook. You shouldn't open any technical article. You shouldn't open an exam kit. On Wednesday, you must be reading your summary. Those who watched my introduction to SBR, I showed you how you had to create those summaries. So at this time, you should be now on Wednesday. Just read your summary. Only your summaries. Or you go to the YouTube and watch a few things. And in fact, on Wednesday, you should sleep early. If you've been sleeping at midnight or 1, on Wednesday, sleep at around 9 or 10. Because you've done it all. Nothing you're going to do in those few minutes. And on the day of exam, those who booked afternoon, continue just going through your summaries and then taking enough water. That's how you're going to build that spirit of passing the exam. Do not panic. And when you reach into the exam, dear students, follow your approach. If you plan to start with question 2, just follow, because you know that is already ethics. Then you just expect which standard is going to come. Is it IFRS 9? Is it IS 12? Is it IFRS 2? Is it IS 19? You just go there. You are the technical expert. You are going to find a sick person. Listen to them. That is, read what they have to tell you. Use their scenario. Play around with it. Give them guidance and go on. You are more like a doctor. And if you do that, the exam will be very easy for you. And if you come up something new that you've not really faced, don't waste time there. I know those who are auditors know what time is in our audit field. Don't waste time there. Just read and say, okay, I can't understand their issue, but can I pick a few points that make sense business wise? Yes, write there what you understand and then you move forward. You'll get a point. Okay, so having discussed this, I think I've really used a few minutes of your time to give you more comfort and how you can approach the remaining few days to your exam. Just know I really wish you the very best, and I'm one person who will be there waiting. By around 5 or 6, I'll be asking you what are the results, because I'm a stakeholder. Am I right or I'm wrong?
You're right. Mm.
Yeah, I'm a stakeholder in your results. So regardless of the result, just share with me, and then we talk. If you passed, we celebrate. You appear everywhere. If you failed, it is okay by the way. Emmanuel, failing in SCCA is normal. Even CPA,
Very, very, very,
it is normal. But at this point in time, I have prepared students ready for the exam. No one is going to fail. Now you
very
either
good.
prove me wrong or right. Now the ball is in your hands, right? The ball is in your hands. You either prove me wrong or right, because I've prepared you to attack the exam. Okay, so I'll be changing my screen. Is there any question for me before I move to the day's planned schedule? Any question? Please ask. Any question? As if someone wants to join, then they keep moving out.
Ivan,
Ivan, I have a quick one. Um, our format of answering, state, apply, conclude. So, to what extent should we state? Because I think marks are more on application than just stating. So,
Perfect.
you find sometimes when I've been practicing, find you writing and you find you're losing time on stating, and actually marks are on applying. So, to
Perfect.
what extent should we state?
Perfect. And we've discussed this before. But let me allow someone to answer. Rachel, can you answer Emmanuel? I have also a very good response for him, but can you answer him or anyone else? Yes, Ruben.
I realized as I was practicing that for stating, you have to state what has been asked in the question. If you just state things that have not been asked, that's where the problem comes. You have to state what is in the what is required in the question.
And how do you know to what extent is in the question? Okay. That is a good response, Ruben. You only have to state what has come in the scenario. You know, when it comes to standards, we have recognition, we have measurement, we have derecognition, we have disclosures, right? It is unlikely that the examiner will set all those 5 areas. Maybe in a given standard, they will ask about recognition, maybe criteria you get. Then in the other one, they will ask maybe about measurement. Maybe in question 4, they'll ask about disclosures. So you have to pay attention to what the examiner has asked and what is given in the scenario that hints to the points in the standard. And for you to be able to do that, Emma, have you watched some of my sessions when I'm attempting questions? Emma, I'm with you.
Yeah, I've watched some.
Have you seen me start with state when I'm getting my answers?
You first apply.
Why?
You tell me.
No, you can. So, Emma, I start with application. After writing the application, I get to know what has really come from the standard. You get? Then
Okay.
I go and state. Because I know if it is about recognition, I've picked out all points about recognition, not so? Then I go up there and say, as per IS, this, for this to be recognized, the following criteria should be passed, should be met. You get it? I put those criteria. Then in application, it is already there. So I always start with application. I see what has come from the standard. I go and state it up. Then finish up my application very well. Go and conclude. Had you paid attention to that technique?
Yes, yes, it works.
Yes. So there you will avoid writing what we call marking. You will not write anything you know about the standard, but you only write according to the client problem. Have I answered you, Emma?
You have. Thank you. Thank you.
And in the remaining few days, when you are reading, or this weekend, you can try again. Start from application. Know what has come in the know what is in the scenario that applies to the standard. Go and state it, so that now it can back up what you've applied. Then you go and conclude. All right. Any other question before I move to today's content prepared? Okay, Sarah, any questions? Ruvia, any question? All right. Seems there is no question. Please, when it comes to deferred tax, make sure that you know at least at what point an entity should recognize
Hey, Ivan,
yes, carried forward losses. Yes, Sylvia.
how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I've joined late. I don't know whether someone had asked that. My question is the approach regarding the ethical numbers. If I'm to talk about objectivity, because that question includes professional marks, and we were told from the I was watching Tushita Gupta, and she said if a question involves professional marks, we should use paragraphs. So my question is, do I say objectivity and then I talk about the issue, or I can use paragraphs, I talk about the story in the scenario, and then in the middle of the scenario I bring in the ethical issue.
Okay, thank you so much. So, Sylvia.
Ivan.
Yes,
Ivan.
Emma.
Maybe to add, I was also watching someone else called Tom Crandall. So he said we have to present our answer in a professional way. As such, he suggested that we should have paragraphs under small headings. Then he said you should have an introduction of the answer. Then, like you always tell us, to conclude with recommendations. So that's what he said. So we don't know what's right here at this time.
Students, I am a student of those two. Tom Condon has podcasts. Unfortunately, here in Uganda, you can't access them. In India, we would access them. Whereas Tashita Gupta really had very good webinars I used to attend. You realize that my mode, what I've trained you, okay, helps you to earn the professional marks. I'll start with the Emmanuel. You talked about headlines and then paragraphs and introduction, okay? Emma, in our answering technique, haven't I told you that you should pick smaller heading from the question?
Yeah.
Have you seen it? Have you been practicing the same?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've been telling you, you get from your, for me, I have trained you to answer questions as per the SBR requirement. Because I know if you present like that, you even have, for me, I've not told you that for question 1, do it. For question 3, don't do it. I've told you to do it across, such that in questions like 4 and 2, where we have professional marks, you automatically earn them. You get it? So you remain organized even for the other questions where you do not have professional marks, because the examiner can easily follow your answers. They can easily award a mark. Emma, have I told you to always state in your answers?
Yeah.
That is the introduction that Tom Kendon talked about. You get? When you state, you are trying to introduce what you're going to apply to. You are telling us that, okay, I will need the criteria. That is the introduction. Then in the application, you reference almost the criteria that you introduced. Then you conclude. The state, apply, conclude is a general technique that is applicable everywhere. You get me?
Okay.
Then for Sylvia, when it comes to question 2, don't worry. You see what I've trained you? We always start with the applicable accounting standard, not so? Then we go to the principle. Then we go to the threat. Then we go to the solution. If you follow that, and I've been telling you, have I told you that your answer should be between 2 to 3 lines? Have I told you that?
Yes.
Isn't that one a paragraph?
Yes, it is.
So just follow what I've trained you to do. You automatically get the professional marks. And for some of you who have submitted your work for marking, if I find the full question copied into your answers, I always blame you. Because you're going to miss the professional mark of, you only have to be with a small heading extracted from the question. Then go and state between 2 to 3 lines. Move to the next one, 2 to 3 lines. Those are all paras. For me, I've trained you to do it across all the 4 numbers, such that the examiner can easily pick where to put a mark for all of the questions. Then the other 2 marks in question 2 and question 4, you automatically get them. Is someone getting the argument? Emma, is it clear?
Yes.
Ah,
Ivan,
Yes, please.
me, I wanted to ask those first 15 minutes, would it be wise for me to like read every question
No.
and
Even before we finish, I'm sorry. Ruben, eh? Okay, you can complete it, but my answer is already no, and I'll give you why. You complete your question.
unknown you? It's okay.
You see those 15 marks? Use them as part of your normal time. Because you see, Ruben, eh? If you open question 1, you read it, right? You
Yes.
go to question 2, you read. You go to question 3. You are going to find that maybe in question 3 and question 4, there are things that you do not know. Okay? Don't you think your moral is even going to go down, even for things that you already know in question 1 and question 2?
Yeah, actually, that's better.
In SBR, we take what we call freely hanging fruits. Okay? Let me ask you, Ruben, if you are to go and pick mangoes, there are very ripe mangoes just on the first branches, and there are also ripe mangoes at the apex. Do you go to the top, or you first start with these ones?
You first start with the ones below.
And even in between, there will be some raw mangoes. Will you pick them?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So my advice is, don't read the questions. As soon as you open your exam like this, if you've been practicing to start with question 2, go to that question, answer it, and follow your timing. I don't know, what can I do? Let me show you something. Because this is more important than even us going through the content. Let me show you something here. Stop presenting. Let me show you something here. Okay. So as soon as you've opened the exam, okay? Of course, if you have been practicing to start with question 2, just come to the navigator, go to your question 2. Is that okay? If you've been practicing question 1, you of course be having question 1 here. Open this. As soon as you've opened, organize your window Very well. Aha. Are we all having access to pen and paper? I want us to do this practically. Do you all have access to pen and paper? Emma,
Yes.
do you have it?
I do.
Yes.
I do.
Please. So you start. Even you see before the exam, before they tell you to start, yeah? And remember, your exam does not start just like your neighbor. Your neighbor can log in, they rush to the exam itself. You get, students? Don't run. Someone might start on you next to you when for you still planning. So don't start until when what I'm going to tell you, you're done with it. So you get your paper. Put question 1. Put question 1. Are you done?
Yeah.
We are going to put start, then stop. Okay?
Okay.
So, of course, we assume that question 1 is 30 marks, not so?
Mm.
As it will be 30 marks. Just write it there on that paper. Because they will, by the way, they are supposed to give you plain papers. You won't enter with them, but when you reach in the exam, put up your hand and ask for them in case they've not given. Is that okay, students?
Okay.
So put question 1, 30 marks. Then come to start. Always our exams count downwards. Is that true?
Yeah.
So if we have 3 hours, 3 times 6, that's 180, and also plus 15, that's 195. Is that true, students?
True.
So under start, give yourself give yourself 5 minutes, that you will take 5 minutes for you to reorganize. So put here 190. Have we all put?
Yep.
Then come to stop. What is 30 times 1.5? 1.8? 54.
54.
So what is 190 minus 54?
136.
Put here 136. Please write it there. Are you done, students?
Yes.
Put here question 2. Put here question 2. How many marks? 20 marks. Not so?
Evan,
Yes, please.
now you see, like the stopwatch, it counts down. Now, also, I wanted to know, like, does on the stop, don't you put what is going to be counted down, like the time it will stop when you're counting down, or?
But this is it. You see that? You see here, your stop, your countdown is going to be somewhere here. Okay.
Yes.
It will start with 195 here, right?
Yes.
195 here. But for me, I'm giving myself the 5 minutes just for reorganization, for coming down. You get me?
Yes.
So okay, and I'm saying, okay, these 5 minutes I'll use them maybe to copy paste my exhibits, what my questions in the response option, and do all that. You get it? So I'm assuming that if I'm starting with question 1, I will start when the countdown is at 190. Is that true?
Okay.
But I like you to start even when it is at 194 or 192. But you give yourself that 5 minutes allowance. So that even if you start copy pasting these things and attempting, even if it is at 190, 192, you get me, eh? You have those extra 2 or 3 minutes in that question. That is okay. So when you see 136 somewhere here on the countdown, okay, what does it mean?
Leave the question and move on.
You
to
leave the
next.
question and move on. Have I answered you?
Yes.
So remember, this is written on your plain paper given to you by the examiner. So as soon as you see 136 here, you just cancel this question, you go to the next one. Is that okay? And you do the write-up before opening the exam. Is that okay, students? You do this write up before opening your exam, before starting to log into the exam, because this is allowed. So long as you are doing this within the exam hall, you are allowed to do it on that pen paper. Have I answered your question, please?
Yes.
So we put here start. Who can tell me what should be the start here now? What should be the start here for question 2?
136.
136. Then put here, what should be the stop? What is 20?
100.
20 times 1.8, we get 36. So we stop at 100. What does it mean? That as soon as I see here, my countdown is at 100, I should stop and go to the next question. Is that okay, students? You put your question 3. How many marks? 25 marks. What should be my start here?
100.
100. Then I stop. What should be my stop?
55.
So 25 times 1.8, it is 45. 100 minus 45, 55. Once I see 55 here, I stop. I go to the next one. Question 4. 25 marks. This is on the paper. At this point, many people have already started their exam. They are sweating. For you are planning your exam. Don't start because they have started. Just look at them start, you plan. Right here, start. 55. What time should I stop?
10.
At 10. Emma, was it Ruben who asked? Ruben, did you ask me about the 15 minutes?
Yes.
Are you seeing the 15 minutes here?
Yes.
Then you can go back and see where you skipped a few things. You go back and rectify using the navigator. Because you've been moving forward, maybe you think question 2, because if you finish question 2, okay, at this 100, you can say 5 marks not attempted. So in these 10 minutes, you go back to question 2 using the navigator here, go back to question 2, then you finish it. Is that okay, students?
Okay.
That is
Yes.
the trick. Because you have appropriately used the 54 minutes, you've used the 36 minutes, you've used the 45 minutes and the 45 minutes that are due for each question. Now you can use the extra 10 to attempt more things. If you just move on, trust me, you should be able to beat this. However, reality is going to set in. And instead of using here 54 minutes, you get me? You are going to use how many?
1 hour.
Maybe 1 hour. So those minutes that you've affected, make sure that you move very fast, go to question 2, and make sure that you stop by 100. Such that the 6 minutes you have used, they have affected only question 2. You don't pass it over to the next question. You get me?
Yeah.
And if you use, let me say, instead of using 54, you've used 50. Those 4 minutes, you are going to bring them. You're going to bring them here, right? Then instead of stopping at 100, you go to your paper and say -6. You get me? Then you say I should stop at 90 what? Then at 94 you move to question 3. Once you are done, you have many minutes left here. When you are at question 4, you go back and look at this question that disturbed you. Are you getting me, students? That is the technique of just move on. Now this is the first concept if someone started with question 1. Okay, but for you, maybe you've been practicing with question what?
Question 2.
Question 2. How many minutes? 20 marks. So you also do the same thing. Say start at 190, then stop. What is 190 minus 36?
154.
154. Then you go to question 2. Just write on that paper. Question 1 maybe, if it's the next one. 30 marks.
Evan,
Yes, please.
hold on. I was asking. Now you see that timer usually has three. Like let's say when you just said the paper, it usually has 3 .15 .00.
Okay.
Yes,
Now that is
like
okay.
yes, that's what it usually has. Now then it starts counting down. Like if it's 3:15, then 3:14, 13, like that.
Okay, I get you.
Yes, you
Now
get me.
in my exam, I remember I practiced using that technique. Okay? Yet in the normal exam it was this. But let us also take that approach, assuming in the exam time is given as 3:15. Are you saying that?
Yes, yes.
So here I should put 3:10. You get me?
Uh-huh. Yes, yes.
Then here you put 3 what? No, is it 3? What is 30 times, is it 54? 30 times 1.8, 54. So I remove this 10, I have 44, yeah? So from the 3 hours I have to remove, so this is 2 hours and what? 44, 60 minus 44 and 16. Is that true? Because you just remove,
Yes, it is.
it is. Because this is 10 out of 54, I have 44 remaining. So from the 1 hour here, I remain with 2. 1 hour is 60 minutes. So 44 minus 60 minus 45, I get 16. However, in the exam for me, I didn't find this setup. How many of you has ever found this setup? I didn't find this setup in the exam. It was always a countdown of the total number of minutes. But it's
Needs
okay.
the one that I've been finding.
Which one? This one, eh?
Yeah.
Then here you put 2 what? 216, eh? So what is 216 minus, we said this is 36. Okay? So 36, I remove 16, I have 20. So that's 1 hour 40. Is that true? Are you getting the
Yes.
trick? Then here I will have 140. Then 140 minus, is it 45? Because 25 times 1.
Yes, 45.
45. So I have 1 hour. I remove only 5 minutes, which is what? 55.
55.
Hey, comes back to that. So even on your countdown here, you will see that 310. Once it is reading 216, you move on. Once reading 1 hour 40, you move on, like that. Has it helped you?
Yes, yes. This is okay.
Okay. So if you're starting from question 2, do the same thing. Start with your 190, then remove the time for 20 minutes. Continue like that. Has it helped you, students?
I have a question.
Yes.
You see, like that question 1, part A is saying 11. So what if I time those 11 and I get 11 times 1.8?
You
The moment
won't.
it stops, I go to part B.
You won't. Bifurcating is going to take so much of your time. You won't.
Okay.
Trust me, in practice, it will be very hard for you to bifurcate. Because remember, even this, you see, putting down this time here, are we consuming our exam time? Who can answer
Yes.
that question? Are we consuming our exam time writing this? We have said we write this information on the plain paper before starting our exam. Is that true?
Okay. Yeah.
So we are planning even before. So we are literally trying to tell the exam for us we can plan before we see your questions. So we are not consuming our time. But if you decide to do this one here within these normal timings here, you are going to be consuming your time. You can use over 5 minutes to just plan for this. You get me?
Okay.
So it is advisable you plan for the full question. Then once you start, you automatically know how much you should write in this question. Is that true? So as soon
Yeah.
as that is done, you move to the next one. This will be just automatic, but within the 54 minutes here. I don't know if I've answered you.
You have.
I would not really advise you going for bifurcation. Let us do this before the exam starts, so that when you are attempting this, you know you need, okay, if this is a goodwill, you know what you are supposed to write in that question. 2 to 3 lines. Have I stated? Have I applied? Have I concluded? Move to the next one. I don't know if you're getting the argument.
I get you.
Yeah. So don't bifurcate internally. Any other question? We have only 1 hour, please. Any other questions, students? Okay. So since there's no further question, we can go to today's discussion. But I'm sure what we've really handled is more than beneficial. Because for these contents, you've done these things. Nothing is new. Nothing is really new. But planning the exam is very important. But I also warn you, the way you organize your screen, 2 at a time, pay attention. This corner here, if you put it down here, the way I've done, you won't be able to adjust this screen again. So better you leave it when you can see that adjusting corner, so that you can easily play around with it. Okay. Okay, so